Hello, my name is Dawn Robinson, and I will be presenting to you my Understanding by Design second grade digital storybook plan. This is a very flexible lesson plan that you can use for just about any genre of writing, with the end product being a digital storybook. We're going to go over some established goals we have here with the NET's 21st Century, Creativity and Innovation, Communication and Collaboration. We also have some State of Alaska content standards and grade level expectations. This is geared towards second grade, but we do have some highly capable students, so it is very acceptable for third grade also. Here, students will be able to independently use their learning to create an original digital storybook by using the writing process: pre-write, rough draft, edit, revise, and final draft. And here is where it's going to get really interesting. We're going to publish using digital equipment. Students will understand that writing is a process that you can always improve upon and use technology to create and publish. Here are some of the essential questions that we will be asking students along the way. Why do we read? What is writing? How does it connect? Why does grammar matter? How will my voice be heard? How will I make others understand what I write? Do stories need a beginning, middle, and end? Why? How can I use technology to publish a final draft of my writing? Students will also know that they can utilize the writing process to create their own digital storybook. So students will be skilled at Writer's Workshop with an added twist for our 21st century learners here. Our final draft is going to be with a digital storybook. Here's our evidence of evaluative criteria. Students will be able to write a story about a topic using the standard writing process in order to write a rough draft, revise, edit, and digitally publish their work using 21st century skills. Here's a sample rubric. This is something that we use here at second grade based on the standard-based report card. 1 is needs improvement, 2 is showing progress, and 3 is at grade level or proficient. We're going over some items such as content. Does it have a beginning, middle, end? Handwriting. Are there spaces between the words? Does it have a topic sentence? Does it have 3 supporting details? Does it have a clear conclusion? Spelling and conventions. We do ask that students do So anyway, we teach students to read with a writer's eye. We ask them, is your paragraph indented? Are all my sentences capitalized? Do I have ending punctuation? Did I use my best handwriting? Are there spaces between my words? Have I checked with classmates sound spelling cards in the dictionary for any words I'm not sure how to spell? Did I put exciting details in there? Remember, word choice gives you voice. Is there a beginning, middle, and end to my story? These are just sample checklists that you can obviously tailor to your grade level or to your students, and I have changed my checklist throughout the year depending upon my group. And then, once they go back and do their self-assessment, they hand it off to a classmate to do peer review. And here, students will be able to check each other's work using a teacher-created checklist. And again, this is part of collaboration. We do ask that they put their name, their date, the checker's name, and the title of their story here, so that when we review it as teachers, we know what we're looking for. And we asked a lot of the same questions. We do ask that a little bit different are different adjectives used. Are there at least 3 different details? And then we also leave a place for notes or comments. And this is where students can let each other know, hey, I really like this story, or this was the best part, or where's the ending? Or they can ask reflective questions like that. And here's our learning plan. We are using the where to model in the Understanding by Design. I did the where and why. I did a summary of the project in extra normal to hook and hold their attention. It's a really great little story I did up just explaining the writing process and how cool it's going to be when they end up with their final project. Let's see if it pops up in our story.
Hello students. Today we will be starting our newest adventure in writing. Are you decided?
We will be making digital storybooks.
First, we will figure out what we will be writing about and brainstorm our ideas on the web.
Then we will write our rough draft to hook our friends interested. Make sure our story has a beginning, middle, and end.
Then we will go over a checklist to make sure we have capitalization, ending punctuation, spelling, and adjectives we leave in there. Remember, word choice gives you voice.
Next, we will fix any mistakes we found. Remember, you are never done. You have just begun and hand it to a classmate to check.
After your classmate checks it, you will revise it to get ready for a final draft.
Then you will hand it in to your teacher to check.
The teacher will hand it back to you, and you will use your best handwriting to make your final draft.
Now this should all sound familiar to you. It and almost as the writing process. But here is where it gets even more fun and interesting.
You get to make a digital storybook.
You will type in your story.
Then you will get to add in digital pictures that you take, computer drawings, or even draw something and scan it in.
So think about that. While you do your storyboard, you need to make a rough draft of what your story will look like when you publish it electronically.
Once your teacher approves your storyboard, you can start using our digital equipment.
And create a wonderful digital storybook to tell your story and share with your friends and family.
Good luck.
Now that I've got their attention, sometimes it's nice to change it up so they're not always listening to you. We're going to hook and hold their attention by showing examples of students' completed projects from years before. And they usually know a lot of these students, so that's really exciting. And to equip them for this project, we will just go through the writing process. We'll do our pre-write, brainstorm story ideas, and web selection. And here's several different story maps that I've gotten from enchantedlearning.com. Great website. And here's some of the essential questions we'll be going through. Why do we read? What is writing? And how does it connect? Why are we reading? Why are we writing? Then we'll go on to our rough draft. Here we have to identify a topic sentence with a hook. We need to make it interesting. Make your classmates want to read it. Make your teacher want to read it. And then we're going to be writing 3 supporting detail sentences so the story has a beginning, middle events, and we're going to write a concluding sentence on how the story ends. So here we're going to also discuss with students, do stories need a beginning, middle, and end, and why? In our next step on the where to process, rethink. This is where we are going to edit, add our details and adjectives, check for conventions using our proofreading marks with our self-assessment. I always tell my students I don't want to hear nice, 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 good, good, good. And we have posters around the room that we make, and following some of the GLAD strategies for vocabulary, other words that we can use. So here, why does grammar matter? How will my voice be heard? How will I make others understand what I write? And this is part of the reflection process. Students will do a self-evaluation and a classmate evaluation. Then we move on to the revise. Here they're going to revise their story using the classmate and teacher formative assessment. And for those who have the highly capable students in there, they are just done lickety-split, and you're going, what am I going to do? If you happen to have a couple student computers in your classroom, Grammarly.com is a great place for them to type in their story and check it. It's a great free grammar and spell check website for students to utilize. And next, they're going to get organized. They have to get ready to do their final draft publishing using their student digital equipment. And this is where the standards-based report card rubric for performance assessment comes in handy. I have a little booklet that they use. It just literally says cover, inside cover, page 1, 2, 3, and they tell me how many pages they have. And then they go ahead and use this storyboard to just draw a rough sketch of what they plan on either taking a picture of, drawing and scanning in, or creating in KidPix or Paint, any of those types of programs in the computer lab to go with their story. And our other essential question here is, how can I use technology to publish my final draft? And the most traditional way is to type up the story in Microsoft Word, teach them what the green and red squiggles signify before they type up, and how to right-click to see the suggestions and utilize them. We're going to take pictures with a digital camera or iPad or cell phones, or draw it and scan it in. And then they're going to compile the book into a format where classmates can read, and oh, the kids just love seeing that in our classroom library and reading each other's stories. And then this is where I just had fun. We received iPads, the teachers did, and we've just been exploring with them. But for those students who have iPads at home or have access to it, you can make your story instead of printing it out and creating it, not just digitally and printing out, but a true online storybook, not paper printed. My story is at www.highdef.co. Little Story Maker is a good one. grasshopperapps.com, KidPix 3D, that was a neat one. And then here's another one if they're doing some narrative writing or writing an autobiography, Stories About Me, where they can upload photos. Parents can email them in, or you can have them bring them in and scan them in real quick. And then if they're not sure or confident about verbalizing their stories, they can get some practice at storywheelapp.com. It's a great way to introduce them to reading out loud their stories and listening to themselves to see if they need to add some more voice or expression. And it has some great tips on storytelling and why it's so important. And then if you have those really high kiddos, you can do iMovie, of course, but there's a lot of programs out there that you can create a movie story using avatars or other creatures depending upon your story. And Extra Normal is what I just used to create the one. However, it's a little complicated, so that would require a lot of teaching. But Voki seemed very comparable. Animoto, you can create a 30-second free video slideshow or go animate for the younger kiddos. Comic Life is where you can use photos, clip art, or drawings to publish your story. And that, again, that's for the more capable student. But the younger crowd seems to like Toontastic, which is very similar. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and you can utilize any part of it. There are links to the document in Word and PDF format along with the rubric and the storyboard. Thank you.